What's up, everybody? It's Corey of the Grease Pole Podcast. Today we wanted to bring you the first in this series of brand new content we want to bring to you, the performance tiers. You can reference our previous video to get an explanation of each tier and why we chose to name them that. We also welcome your suggestions for the naming of each tiers in the comments below. So, if that's where you want to go reference that. But for right now, we're going to get right to our tiers for Week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Starting off with the Brian Dawkins tier. And where else will we start with the Brian Dawkins tier other than Arthur James Brown, or is it Arthur Juan? Either way, A.J. Brown himself, the guy that Howie Roseman made Eagles fans cream their drawers over on draft night. 10 catches, 155 yards. He did not find the end zone. Jalen Hurts' BFF did not find the end zone, but he was the guy that was giving Detroit Lions fits. He was the guy that had Eagles fans happy everywhere on Sunday. So he's the obvious choice here for the Brian Dawkins tier for Week 1. I also want to give some love in the Dawkins tier to the offensive line as a whole. 216 yards rushing, 5.5 yards per carry, and 4 touchdowns on the ground with 4 different players. Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Kenny Gainwell, and Boston Scott all found pay dirt on the ground. So big shout out to the big uglies up front. Some would say it's the best offensive line in football, and it's definitely back to form of the way it was the Super Bowl season, even if it's not all the same 5 guys up front. Next is the Chris Long tier. Miles Sanders, my guy. You know we've loved him here on the pod for some time, and it's nice to see him finally score a damn touchdown. It's been years, right? 13 carries, 96 yards, averaging 7.4 yards a carry. We've been saying for years, Miles Sanders is efficient as hell. Just give this dude the ball. 13 carries and you saw what he could do. Give him the ball more often, Nick Sirianni, and watch what this man can do. So Chris Long tier is where Miles Sanders belongs. And 2 other guys on the defensive side of the ball and 1 on special teams as well. I wanted to give some love to safety Marcus Epps, who I was a little skeptic on as a starting safety, but he led the team in tackles on Sunday with 10 of them, including the one that everybody's talking about, that one where he came flying onto the screen against Amon-Ra St. Brown at the line of scrimmage. You love to see Marcus Epps making plays back there, flying all over the field. On the special teams side of the ball, right, the third phase, we often forget about that. Big shout out to Zech McPherson, 4th round pick from last year. He was the guy that recovered that surprise onside kick, that decision by Dan Campbell. That was huge to recover that onside kick. The Birds made it a 3-score game after that. I believe it was 38-21, if I believe. So that was a huge swing in the game. And he also made a tackle on punt coverage. He looked good on punt coverage as well. As a result, he won the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. So there's your Chris Long tier. Moving on to the Aguilar tier. I just want to mention this real quick. I'm not going to focus on it a ton because it's Week 1. The lack of Devontae Smith, right? We said the BFFs, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. You heard the announcers just gushing over him. We get it. It's Week 1. A.J. Brown's a shiny new toy. It made sense for him to get all the love. And you're going to see Devontae Smith get involved more as teams start to pay more attention to A.J. Brown. Not that they weren't on Sunday, but number 6 is going to get involved. You just kind of wanted to see the ball spread out a little bit more to start the season off. And look, this might be kind of a hot take, but I'm going to include kind of Jalen Hurts here as well. Because, look, fundamentally, you have to go through your progressions as a quarterback. Jalen Hurts breaks the huddle and locks in on a guy. A.J. Brown, case in point, right? On Sunday, obviously. He did enough to move the chains against Detroit in September, but that's not going to be enough to move the chains against, say, San Francisco come January. So, big ups to Hurts for the win on Sunday, but we're going to need to see more out of you, bro. And now, the cheeks of the cheeks, the Chip Kelly tier, Jonathan Gannon, defensive coordinator. So, aside from the first half, the end of the first half there with a couple of 3-and-outs in the Bradbury pick 6, there wasn't much to get fired up about, right? There really, really wasn't. You had, in Detroit, you had a banged-up offensive line. They were starting, I think, their 3rd guard. Frank Ragnow, their center, was banged up. And DeAndre Swift just had his way with this Eagles run defense, right? Almost 10 yards per carry was averaged by DeAndre Swift. It's ridiculous. You only got your hands. You only put Jared Goff's ass in the dirt once. 1 sack on Jared Goff. That's inexcusable. I get this is the Lions. I get they've kind of revamped a little bit, and they've got the Hard Knocks rub. But this is not, you shouldn't be letting a team like this creep back in maybe some week one jitters, maybe all these new toys that Howie Roseman brought in. Jonathan Gannon kind of trying to figure out how to use them and deploy them a little bit. But this needs to change going forward. He's been accused of having kind of a gutless defense last year, and we saw the same thing on Sunday against Detroit. So there's our Cheeks Ass Chip Kelly tier. What say you? Do you enjoy the names of the tiers? Do you enjoy this idea even? Let us know in the comments below. If you do, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, keep it moving. Either way, appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you here next week for the week 2 tiers. As always, go Birds.